The tremor began not as a rumble in the earth, but as a shiver through the very fabric of Clark Kent's being. It was a psychic echo, a discordant hum that resonated deep in his bones, colder and more alien than any earthquake, more profound than any solar flare. He stood, a coffee cup forgotten on his desk, the morning edition of the Daily Planet a blur in his hands. A profound weariness, etched subtly around his eyes even in civilian guise, deepened. He knew this feeling. He wished he didn't. In a breath, Clark Kent was gone, replaced by the blur of crimson and blue. Superman ascended, a streak against the burgeoning metropolis dawn, piercing the troposphere, then the stratosphere, until Earth Prime hung a vibrant marble beneath him. He sought the source of the impossible shiver, his hyper senses straining against the silence of space. And then he saw it. A familiar constellation, one he'd gazed upon countless times from his Kansas porch, flickered. Not like a dying star, but like a corrupted digital image, pixels scrambling, then reforming, subtly wrong. A star was missing, or perhaps an entire nebula had shifted its spectral signature. A phantom ache blossomed near his temple, where a faint, almost invisible scar resided, a memento from a forgotten, devastating battle that only he truly remembered. The universe was cracking. Back within the crystalline solace of the crystalline solitude, the vast, intricate network of deep space sensors hummed with an unsettling new rhythm. Superman, his brow furrowed, watched the intricate holographic projections of the cosmos. The flickering constellation was merely a symptom. His sensors now detected faint, impossible energy signatures, like overlapping dimensions bleeding through the very fabric of Earth Prime's reality. They were echoes, not from dying worlds, but from worlds being silenced. Each spectral ripple reignited a surge of suppressed trauma within him, a memory of a previous, contained multiversal anomaly that had left him with a crippling sense of sole responsibility. He had failed to save them then, or at least he felt he had. He had to be stronger now. He had to be enough. He directed the fortress's immense computational power, running diagnostics. Containment fields, analyzing energy patterns. His efforts, though Herculean, were like trying to scoop an ocean with a thimble. The phenomenon was too vast, too ethereal, too utterly alien. Then the Kuiper Belt, a glittering halo of ice and rock at the solar system's edge, visible through the fortress's most powerful telescopes, visibly distorted. It didn't explode. It didn't melt. It crumbled into nothingness, leaving behind a sterile, impossibly perfect void. It was not destruction, but consumption. The sight froze Superman to his core. Simultaneously, a psychic wave crashed over him, a fleeting, horrifying vision. He saw it, an infinite network of minds, unified in a cold, predatory hunger. Their collective consciousness reaching out like a silent scream, 1,000 trillion voices singing a chorus of absolute, sterile peace. The hum in his bones intensified, no longer distant, but a pervasive thrumming within his own skull. Shaken to his core, Superman tried to alert the Justice League. He projected his urgent message, detailing the impossible energy signatures, the vanishing Kuiper Belt, the psychic intrusion. But the ephemeral nature of the threat, its lack of a physical anchor, made his warnings sound like dire premonitions, philosophical anxieties, rather than an immediate tangible crisis. Their responses, though concerned, were tinged with a subtle skepticism, a call for more data, tangible evidence. He felt a growing isolation, a subtle, invasive hum, now a constant presence in his mind, the encroaching consciousness attempting to find purchase. He attempted to project a localized energy barrier, a shield of pure solar energy around Earth. He poured his strength, his will into the effort, but the sheer scale of the encroaching void, the silent, hungry reach of the omnimind, rendered his efforts insignificant, a single candle against the night. The barrier flickered, then dissolved, like breath on glass. A colossal, shimmering distortion manifested near Earth's moon. It was not a ship, not a monster, but a tear in reality itself, woven from pure, incomprehensible energy. It pulsed with a sickly green-gray light. And as Superman watched, it began to absorb lunar matter. Not devour, not break apart, but assimilate. The lunar surface flowed into the distortion, vanishing without a trace, leaving behind a perfectly smooth, impossibly clean void. This was the omnimind's tendril, reaching, tasting. With a guttural roar that was more defiance than anger, Superman launched himself toward it, a blue and red projectile against the encroaching nothingness. He flew directly into the distortion, the world dissolving around him into a kaleidoscope of impossible colors and shapes. He was no longer in space, but in a vast, non-Euclidean realm where concepts of up and down, inside and out ceased to exist. Here, a psychic projection coalesced before him. A faceless, formless entity of pure thought, radiating an overwhelming sense of profound, tranquil unity. It offered him peace, unity, an end to suffering through assimilation. Visions flooded his mind, sterile, perfect worlds, devoid of individual struggle, where every thought was shared, every emotion muted into a harmonious hum. It was a tempting, horrifying promise. He fought off the overwhelming psychic intrusion with immense mental and physical force, his will a beacon against the crushing conformity. The scar on his temple burned, a searing pain, a defiant spark of individuality in the face of oblivion. With a final, desperate surge of pure will, Superman unleashed a blast of heat vision, not just physical energy, but a focused psychic counter-assault. The shimmering tendril recoiled, shrieked a silent, mind-rending scream, and then shattered into a million glittering motes of light, dissolving back into the void. The immediate assault was repelled, but the moon was visibly scarred, a crescent of its mass now a gaping, impossibly smooth void. He returned to Earth, physically and mentally drained, his body aching, his mind reeling. He understood now the true horror of the peace offered, a peace that devoured identity, that silenced the beautiful, messy symphony of individual existence. He looked at the vibrant, chaotic life on Earth, the bustling city lights, the distant hum of human voices, with renewed determination. His earlier weariness had not vanished, but it was replaced by a grim, unyielding resolve. Staring up at the newly scarred moon, a chilling emptiness where a piece of Earth's silent guardian once stood, Superman realized with stark clarity. This cosmic entity was not just a threat to Earth, but to the very concept of existence across all realities. He knew, with a certainty that settled deep in his soul, that he could not face this alone, that he needed allies who understood, who remembered, who would fight for their own unique chaos. The hum of the hive mind still echoed, a chilling whisper in his thoughts, as he looked out at the vast, now vulnerable cosmos, the question a silent prayer on his lips. Who else is out there, and do they still exist?